The CIA is in search of ancient Atlantis spacecraft, according to allegations. What makes them think that they're still on Earth? I'd like to know. So they're searching for Atlantis aircraft, spacecraft. The legends of Atlantis are found and traced within the myths of many cultures dating back thousands of years. A major factor in the subject being given much attention was Plato, who referred to the city of Atlantis and described it as a large island beyond the Pillars of Hercules, that is the Gibraltar area. Much has been written about the technology of Atlantis, including that the lost continent had underwater craft, motorized flying vehicles, and a mysterious power crystal that supplied electricity to the central city. The first book to address the possibility of flying craft was by William Scott Elliott in The Story of Atlantis and Lost Lemuria, published in 1909. Scott Elliott describes incredible technology and aircraft that sailed the skies with a silent grandeur using a power lost in antiquity and still unknown today. Well, perhaps they were electromagnetic and worked with ether. Now, however, he does not rely on artifacts, texts, or physical evidence to support his incredible claims. Scott Elliott divides the advanced technology of Atlantis in periodic psychic sessions that are now called remote viewing. Remote viewing, which was trusted by the CIA and the Pentagon in a program called Stargate, emerged from the work done over decades by notable scientists such as the genius Michael Faraday. American physicist Harold Puthoff and Russell Targ collaborated with the Stanford Research Institute's Electronics and Biotechnology Laboratory. As their research began to produce measurable results, the Pentagon immediately became interested. At the same time, the CIA and the Secret Service followed the path of paranormal and psychic experiments conducted by the Soviets and the Chinese. Scott Elliott used a technique similar to remote viewing to see exactly what the Atlanteans were doing and how their society worked, and he also investigated the water scarcity of Lemuria. In his book on the construction of airships, he wrote, "The material with which the airships were constructed was wood or metal. The earlier ones were made of wood. The platforms used are extremely thin, but the injection of a substance that did not add to the weight gave it a hardness like leather, with the necessary combination of lightness and strength. When metal was used, it was generally an alloy. 2 white and 1 red metal were introduced into its composition. The result was white like aluminum and lighter in weight. The large sheet of this metal was extended over the rough structure of the ship, which was then hammered into shape and electrically welded where necessary. However, whether it was made of metal or wood, its outer surface was perfectly smooth and apparently without problems and glowed in the dark as if coated with a light paint. They were shaped like a boat, but they were always covered, because if they were going at full speed, it could not have been convenient or even safe for anyone remaining on the upper deck. The propeller and steering gear could have been started at either end. That the Atlanteans perhaps had airplanes is supported by some information that survived the destruction of the Great Library of Alexandria. The surviving fragments of the cylinders seem to give a detailed part of the ancient history that has been lost to modern times. It also is believed by some scholars that Atlantis existed at the same time as the super-state of ancient India 15,000 to 20,000 years ago. The two countries may have had agreements, and if the Rama Empire, which was referred to today as they did have flying vimanas, then the Atlanteans probably had their own aircraft. Those who deal with similar world mysteries often refer to the Indian and Atlantean empires. The so-called Rama Empire of northern India and Pakistan developed at least 15,000 years ago in the Indian subcontinent and was a nation of many large and complex cities, many of which can still be found in the deserts of Pakistan, north and west of India. The Rama civilization apparently existed parallel to the Atlantean civilization in the Atlantic Ocean and was governed by enlightened priest kings who ruled the cities. The 7 great capitals of Rama were known in classical Hindu texts. However, according to the above, and in combination with other information from declassified CIA and other Secret Services documents, their great interest in Atlantis is evident. And this is for a Greek article I've translated for you. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.